the worst experience I ever had was I took shrooms and then we all watched Requiem for a Dream.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
It just happened to be on, and we just kind of sat on the couch and started watching it. And
Oh,
by the end, I'm like gripping the side of the chair. I'm like,
What was it like having your ego die?
Hello and welcome to the Games That Made Us podcast. Future Brent here. When we left the guys, we had just kind of started our conversation of comparing and contrasting some of the Final Fantasy games, especially the PS1 era games. So we'll jump back in that, and I will talk to you guys again at the end of the episode.
but where this game really, I think, excelled and kind of set a better standard of Final Fantasy games at the time is since the character models were more proportioned to a normal human. Because at this time, nothing was voice acted. It was still all classic text box. Even 9, everything was still text box.
Yeah.
Because everyone was properly proportioned, they were able to make the characters emote and really make them like it's one thing like in Final Fantasy VII when somebody's angry or whatever, because they weren't really animated in that way to show that. You just had to read and imply that they're angry. But in 8, they would do gestures that were, again, when it's more proportional characters, that feeling really comes across easier. Mm-hmm. So when somebody's upset or being nonchalant or impatient, they were able to emote that. And while the text was going on, to make it better, really.
In Final Fantasy VII, they just showed Barrett convulsing like he has diarrhea to make him appear angry.
Like arm flail, generic arm flail movement or leg movement or whatever.
Well, whereas here you might get like a more subtle
like the
articulation where like Selphie might stamp her foot.
Yeah.
Or Squall could turn in like a moody position.
Yeah, that he does all the time when he turns around and puts his like hand on his head. Yeah, it's all angsty.
Yeah, there's a lot of non-verbal stuff that comes across this time.
Well, and so one of the things that I think is interesting about this was the first, and it's funny because you picked Benny, you picked up on it right away when you were like, it's a slice of life anime, and Kirk, I think you're explaining the reason why, which is if you go back to the pixel art Final Fantasies. You know, everything's so abstract that you project your own cultural biases or whatever onto it. In this game, there's little stuff like, okay, just as an example, Renoa and Quistis both do this thing where when they laugh, they like put one hand up over their mouth and kind of turn to the side a little bit. And it's like, and I see that and I'm like, that is a profoundly Japanese way of doing that. And it's like, because they're laughing at Squall and his I'm tough and
but they know the women have to demur to do that.
And it's like this game felt more Japanese. And what I realized right at this moment is the reason it felt more Japanese than earlier Final Fantasy games is just because the animators had more space to create more fully fledged emotions for the characters, like more like realistic models doing more realistic motion, and of course they're going to inject their own cultural bias into it, and it's like and so this game did feel more Japanese, whatever that means, than earlier Final Fantasy games, because you could see more of the characters. I don't know, like acting and like being themselves.
Mm-hmm. Quistis hides behind her glasses.
Yeah.
And Renoa crouches and hugs her knees to her chest and like does some of these things that are like...
Irving will like put one foot lean against a wall usually. And Zell will just like start boxing and play shadow boxing, which was always kind of entertaining.
Or like hold one arm and like flex with the other bicep and like
there's so much character development that you get just in the little moments of the game that and again, like this is Final Fantasy catching up to like, okay, so we talked about Ocarina of Time, and like one of the things that I love about Ocarina of Time is the little like idle animations for Link where he'll stretch and yawn, or he'll kick his little toe and kick the dust around or whatever. And it just provides so much like texture to those characters. This is the first time Final Fantasy got to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so like I connected with these characters way more than I did really any of the FF games up to this point. Like, I thought these characters, just by very nature of the fact that it was a somewhat less abstract version of them,
absolutely
felt more fleshed out.
In every game up until 7 in the Final Fantasy series is all 2D sprites, and
well, 7 kind of had like the really shitty 3D.
well, and that's what I was going to say. Even though it's 3D, it is an extremely static game visually speaking.
Yep.
Except in the places where it's meant to be cinematic. If you leave the game running and you leave Cloud standing there, then you have a blocky ass Cloud standing there for 9 hours.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the world just doesn't seem like it's moving around you at all. And 8 feels dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first time that feels that way.
The only time you get visual characterization in 7 are during the battle sequences and during the cinematic cutscenes. That's it. And this, just the normal gameplay of FF8 has more dynamics to it.
So I was going to say that in some ways 8 is a more cinematic experience than 9. So I love Final Fantasy IX. I think it's actually arguably my favorite. That or 12. And I know I'm a weirdo, but those are my two favorites. I think 9 is beautiful. And it has these moments that are very cinematic, and it's got a great story. But 8, in just existing, scene to scene, takes advantage of those CGI moments, those little and it blends the CGI with the rendered
very well.
So you have things where they knew they needed the fidelity of the pre-rendered stuff to really show what was going on. But they didn't want to necessarily have the separation of the player from the game experience. So sometimes you're still in control of Squall or whoever you're
during
controlling
a CGI sequence.
while there's CGI running.
Like that robot spider tank coming
Exactly.
through that
Yes.
alley, which the alley was, and the CGI still look really good compared to the actual alley in the environment. But still semi-pixelated Squall and the friends running down the street as the thing's chasing you is really cool.
And there's a lot of those in that early sequence in the Galbadian capital where you're trying to, spoiler alert, assassinate the sorceress. There's a lot of moments where there's still the 3D animation and rendering that's happening and your characters can move around, but then there's also that CGI happening and it's transition from scene to scene, and it's very cinematic. It's very organic feeling, especially for the time. If you did that today, people would be like, oh, that was a little chunky. But at the time, smooth as butter, honestly.
It just felt, the whole game just felt so ambitious.
Yeah.
The plot is a little over the top and a little Kojima-esque.
A little?
And
That's every Final Fantasy game, though.
I know, but 8
is pretty bad
It's-
not bad, but it's aggressive.
It's she's actually her mom and she's actually somebody else's soul in this other body. And it's
This is Kingdom Hearts level shit.
yeah,
man.
yeah. Well, no, and I'm not saying that as a detriment. I'm not picking on the game with that. I felt the ambition in this game. This felt like they had gotten so successful with FF7 and they were we have to push it. We have to push it in every way. The music has to be better. The visuals have to be better. The story has to be more bigger and more impressive. And it's
So going off of that, I think you might like this. Did you ever read or hear about the Squall is dead theory?
no.
Because for the most part,
I don't
the story
remember,
and
but I've heard
everything
this.
is more in the first disc, really, up until that assassination. The game is more grounded as far as its story.
Yeah.
Everything goes fucking crazy after that.
Yeah.
So the theory was for the longest time, during that fight sequence, and spoiler alert, you get impaled by a giant icicle.
Yeah.
And then you fall backwards off of this parade
Platform
float.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's right. It's a float.
And then, disc 2 starts and you wake up in a prison and you're fine.
Yeah.
And that's where everyone's like, so the theory was like Squall actually died there, and everything that's going on from disc 2 and beyond, because that's when shit really starts to get weird.
No, that's true.
They think that's just like what's going through Squall's head as he's dying.
And that's kind of when, because Renoa doesn't have any interest in Squall in disc 1 at all. She's interested in Cypher.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like that turns in disc 2, and it's like, okay, I actually could buy that. No,
it became such a popular and such a well-known theory back in the day in the early 2000s, where the game creator himself responded to it. He was like, he says it makes sense, and he absolutely loves the theory. He said it was fascinating, but that it's not true. Like he debunked. He was just like, it's absolutely fascinating. He said he loved reading about it and how everything fits together and how much it makes sense. Yeah. But he's like, isn't
there also a perfectly logical, just as a counter to that, because it is also very fun. I remember hearing that. Mm-hmm. And like the argument is that like the closing sequence is like him like finally like relaxing into his death kind of thing. Yeah. But I think there's also like a story reason for why the sorceress wouldn't have actually killed him, right? Aren't there plot elements that suggest why she would have actually protected him potentially?
Yeah, because it turns out that sorceress, who is also Sid's ex-wife / still wife, she's under control of a different sorceress, but she was also, because again, slice of life anime, whatever, she is also the caretaker, like the mom.
Kind of like playing both sides, right?
Yeah, sort of. She was the what do they call those people? Like headmaster
of the orphanage.
That your character and a lot of your other friends grew up in. So, and then somehow you guys just forgot.
Yeah.
Well, no, they
explain that.
Yeah, like the guardian force.
Yeah, your girlfriends take your memories. Or whatever.
It's real. It's real now.
I oversimplified it, but when I said that in my head, I'm like, I have to say that out loud. That's really funny. Like your girlfriend stealing your memories.
You know what's interesting about all of this in terms of like the complexity and the ambition, the word Brent used, and like just the overall scale of this game that strikes me is looking back on...
No, Kirk, you got to drag it across the floor really loudly before you get a beer. That's the rule.
Kirk ever so delicately snuck across the room to grab a beer and delicately, quietly opened the cooler. Brent's been over here dragging around like a fucking corpse.
He's been dragging around, not giving a fuck, and making as much noise as possible.
Sorry.
Yeah,
there we go.
There. That's where that goes. Fuck, that's heavy. No. Anyway, continue. Sorry. Ambitious.
The idea that I had was that if you look at the subsequent game, which again, I will defend to the death because I think it's excellent.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty. I think it's fun. I think the story is good. In some ways, 9 feels like they backed down from something.
That's what I was getting at. That's what I was getting at.
It feels like the
felt
system...
like 9 was smaller, really.
Yes. Well, and I feel like all the subsequent FF games are.
I will say
that's kind of my point.
I will say that I feel that 9 is more... is a little more focused in some ways.
Yeah.
It's 4 discs long. It's, like I said, it's beautiful. The story is actually... Especially by the end when you finally get like the... Not like spoiler alert, but like to the Terra versus like the world that you live on, and like the fact that there's like the crystals becoming a thing, because crystals are always a feature of Final Fantasy games. Like it starts twisting into that convoluted place the same way that all these other games do.
Yeah.
I mean, even Final Fantasy VII has a lot of convolution in its plot. But it takes a while to get there, whereas like 8 really kind of starts hinting at it right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Like I said, and the reason I mentioned the fact that the world feels like a modern civilization that regressed is because you start feeling that a little bit. Like you feel like you're in kind of a sparse world that was at one point more vibrant, or not vibrant, but like more at ease with itself before it feels like there's a cataclysm, because they happen all the time.
And there was a cataclysm. It's that lunar cry.
Exactly. So they happen periodically.
Yeah.
Right? So.
And that's why you have those normal governments that are kind of more regress, but then you have that
Exactly.
very futuristic city that's
the
remained
one
hidden.
city.
Yeah.
And it feels like there's it feels like maybe the scale of the endeavor of making this game overwhelmed players to some extent, and so they wanted to see where, like, what the receptiveness was to, like, a more conventional fantasy universe game.
Yes.
Because, again, I don't mean to be, like, they're totally different. 8 and 9 are completely different games with a lot of this, like, that feel related.
This game, I like the idea that it kind of broke both fans and the development team a little bit in the creation of it. And this game crystallized something for me. It was so funny. I was sitting on the couch. I was playing this game last week, and I put my little, emulation handheld down. I looked over at Aaron and I was like, I hate Final Fantasy.
Fair, yeah.
and she's like, yeah. And she's like, yeah, you never seem to have a good time. I was like, no, I'm liking this one. And that's why I know I hate Final Fantasy. Mm-hmm. Because all the things I really like about FF8, and there are a lot, I enjoyed this game. There's parts of it that frustrated the hell out of me, but I like this game. All the things that I like about this game aren't in other Final Fantasies, are very different than Final Fantasy. And it's like, it's something like, it's like, how when you're a little kid and you're like on the playground and all your other friends are like running around playing football and you're like, oh, I want to go play with them. And then like every time you go play with them, like you get hurt or you like, somebody makes fun of you or whatever. And like finally you have that realization. You're like, I just don't like fucking football. Like, why do I keep trying to be part of this game that I'm not enjoying? I've spent my whole life going, oh, look at all the kids running around playing Final Fantasy. They all look like they're having a good time. Why I should play Final Fantasy. And then I'm like, why am I not having a good time? It's like, because I don't like Final Fantasy. Like, and it's like, this is a revelation for me. This is a really important moment that happened in Brentdom, which is like, I'm giving myself permission after 38 years to not like Final Fantasy. I like 8. I like 12 a little bit. Those are fun.
Have you played 9?
I have played a little 9.
I'm surprised you don't like that one then.
I haven't dove a bunch into it. I've played a lot of 7. I played a lot of 6. I played a lot of 2.
It is kind of a weird like jump though from 8 to 9. 8 being more grounded and realistic, where 9 is definitely more cartoony.
Yeah,
it's still. Go on. I'm sorry.
Don't play 15 or 16 until you've played. You didn't like 6 very much?
No.
Fair enough.
I didn't either.
Well,
6 is the 8 of the 2D games because it's the most ambitious. It's the one that I look at 6 and I'm like, that's really cool. That's a really well-made game.
I think it's a storytelling triumph.
Yeah.
In some ways, and we may have to play that down the line.
And I'm fine with that.
This is going to be a complicated series for us to tackle sometimes because we're all going to, other than agreeing that 7 is incredibly, so very much overrated.
It is the most overrated.
We're probably going to have some different opinions about these.
Can I just say one more thing? Sorry, on the subject of 7
No,
versus
it's okay.
8. 7 versus 8, because you got me thinking about it. I never, you know what else? And this is part of why I'm like, I'm giving myself permission to not like Final Fantasy. Mm-hmm. You know what FF8 doesn't have very much of? Stupid fucking minigames. There's like hardly any. Like,
that's true, yeah. There's Triple Triad, and that's
and Triple
really
Triad is really fun.
It's a fun card game.
It's not a and it persists throughout the game. At no point does FF8 say, stop what you're doing and learn how to play this fucking fishing game. No, I want to play the fucking game that you've put in front of me.
That's true. I never thought of that.
No point do they do it. They teach you how to play Triple Triad right at the beginning, and then it's useful all the way through the game.
There is one mini game thing, but it's very easy. It's when Laguna, when they're showing like when he was in that acting career and that actual dragon shows up and he has to fight it.
Yeah.
But that's like, you have like 2 options.
Yeah.
It's not an actual like, I wouldn't say like mini game that will breaks your experience. It's more of a funny like because it's even playing like that kind of honky tonk piano entertainer kind of like music, you know.
There was a part where I looked over at Aaron, and I literally said, "Oh, here it fucking is."
You mean you didn't have to dance to charm the governor's daughter?
Exactly. Yeah. Mini game of the game that I love for some reason. But no, I looked over and I was like, here it fucking is. I've been waiting this whole time. And it was the putting the band together for right. But it's like
it doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah,
like,
but it's not a mini game.
Yeah.
It's just for fun. And I was like, it's the game respects my time and wants me to just play the game that I'm playing? What?
And it really doesn't matter who plays what instrument, because there's like only 2 songs that you can properly make out of that entire sequence anyways.
Yeah.
And it's very obvious. One's like an Irish jig.
Yeah.
The other one's like a slow dance thing. And it's pretty obvious which instruments do what. But even then, even if you do it completely wrong, it's not as if they force you to do it all over again.
No.
They're just like, this sounds weird.
So I guess I just need to get this out of the way then, so you can prepare for it. Because we're going to talk about 9 one of these days. Okay. And there's a couple of little mini-gamey things in that. But I think they allow you to get a couple of items premature. Like, they let you get yourself a little boost, but ultimately you don't actually have to succeed to continue. Unlike Final Fantasy VII, where like that attack minigame is like critical to moving forward and it's miserable.
VV jumping rope.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. The little mini games, but you don't have to do it.
And the sword fight during the play. Yep. Mm-hmm. There are a couple where like you can participate, but they feel more like quick time events that don't prevent you from moving forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if you participate, you can get a dope item. But you don't have to do it. It doesn't.
I think 7 did the worst at this, and they really made people miserable. But I think they do come back in several ways. Like there's fishing in a lot of games after that point. You know, there's
so many fucking fishing games. And I say this as a fan of The Legend of Zelda, which is also, it's the other series where it's like, no, stop what you're doing and fucking fish. It was so funny when I started playing Stardew Valley because I was just like, oh, of course, my progress is gated behind a fucking fishing minigame. Yeah, because that's like, it's made me hate fishing. I used to like fishing until video games. Video games have ruined fishing for me.
I actually agree completely with the idea that like it should never gate the character or the player from progress. And when they don't,
it should be optional.
Exactly. And when you don't gate someone by forcing them to fish, then you can actually choose to do it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So Final Fantasy 15 does that. And it's optional.
Yeah.
It's actually, you've played it, right, Kirk?
15's the one with like the K-pop boy band.
Yes.
Right? Oh,
yep.
That was like the first. Yeah, I was going to mention 15.
You just described Final Fantasy.
It's got this, but way more so than it's bromance, the video game, in a kind of a good way. I actually
like emo K-pop boy band.
Yes, I like 15 for what it's worth.
I do too.
And I think the fishing mini game is actually fun, but it's completely optional.
Yeah,
but I think it's actually really good.
And 15.
But I get why it burned you. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm happy you brought up 15 because Brent was talking about that 8 succeeds where a lot of even modern Final Fantasy games fail.
Yeah.
8, one of its best aspects was just how fucking open world it is. Like from the get-go, it's like, do whatever the hell you want. Whatever. Like some things are on a rail, but not horribly on a rail.
No.
15 is pretty like that too. Like it's a little slow going until you get your car, but for the most part, you can actually wander the world for the most part.
Yeah,
and that's what I like to see in Final Fantasy games, not this hallway of the game bullshit that they started doing really hard after 10.
Yeah,
13 being the fucking biggest offender of it. It is hallway the game.
Yeah,
good story. Frustrating that you have to stay on that rail for pretty much the entire experience until the very end.
One of the things that I think 8 does really, really well that I have never been a fan of comparing it to 6 now. 6, my big complaint with that is there's too many fucking characters, and it means that we don't get enough time with any of them to really develop affection for them. Like,
It's fair.
Like it's like, oh, we're video games are art, and to prove it, we're gonna put 500 characters in our fucking Final Fantasy game. I'm like, that doesn't mean anything. Like,
wait till I have you play Suikoden 3.
Fuck you. No. No. God damn it. Are we going to play tactics RPGs now? Is that the next thing that's going to happen? I'll make you guys play Front Mission, then you'll fucking...
I'll show those bastards. Stupid friends.
I'm going to make Brent play Hammerfinger.
What the fuck is that?
You take a hammer and you hit your finger with it.
You lose, drink.
Jesus Christ.
This is like just one-upping each other into agony. And we could go on. This is every fucking Reddit forum on Final Fantasy that's ever existed. Yeah, we just did exactly what the internet has done for like almost 40 years now.
Sweet.
But part of me laments that we couldn't rise above comparing all of the Final Fantasy games and why we hate the one that's our least favorite.
All of them are my least favorite except 8, and then 12 is pretty good too. Because, okay, so...
I kind of want you to play 15 because I just want to know what you think of it.
8
You'll either love it or you'll hate it.
And the unifying factor between those two for me was that I liked the characters. I was like, oh, these are likable characters. They're fun. I like the bunny girl in 12. I mean, obviously.
Fran is mommy.
Yeah. Dude. I like, was it Baltier?
Baltier,
yeah. The pirate Han Solo British guy?
Yep.
Yeah. British Han Solo. He's cool.
I actually I love the audacity of 12 to basically
just be Star Wars.
Well, okay, there's that, but also yes.
But again, I fucking hate how accurate that statement is.
But
God damn it!
But also
stupid bastard.
To transplant Selfie from 8, including almost her entire outfit, into Pinello, and wish you the best of luck,
dude. I don't like that because I liked Selfie and I like Pinello too, but Pinello, like, to me, I'm like, oh, but she's so tiny. Yeah, is Selfie tiny too? I guess I
think so.
She's very small and petite.
Yeah.
She's the shortest of the entire crew.
She is.
And she is the youngest.
I like her little bouncy victory with her nunchucks.
Mm-hmm. And then she like kind of bounces them on her shoulder, bounces them, and she's like,
that guy kicked their asses.
Yeah.
But no,
it's less aggressively, obviously sexual than Eris's, or not Eris. What's the other one?
Tifa
Lockhart's
obviously
just like
flexing behind her head.
Let me show you my tits, boys. Here they are.
Yeah,
that's another thing.
Quistis, she stretches too. Yeah, but she just does like one of these out front stretches.
Yeah,
like,
it's not
sexualized.
Sexual.
Yeah,
no, that is another thing that's kind of refreshing about it's not just in your face. Like, that they're like, we had to give you the hot chick in your party and make sure you knew it.
Yeah. And
that's the thing is like, no, it's not like
her suspenders are hanging off her breasticles. Notice her, senpai.
And like the Renoa is like just very like charming and sweet and like she's not over sexualized.
Charmingly naive.
She's
very naive.
She is.
Way over her head all the time. I'm sorry, Benny.
No, I was just going to say, none of the characters are sexualized realistically.
No, even their outfits are rather conservative in the grand scheme of things.
They feel like just normal teenagers, which I think is probably why it struck such a chord with you at that age.
Yeah, I really felt like I was part of the crew.
Yeah.
Oh man, when I lived out in the middle of nowhere on a farm, so I'd only get to see my friends either at work or school or on the swim team or whatever I was doing. So, like, when I was at home, I felt isolated because, my family sucks.
You were physically isolated.
Yeah,
I got you.
And I've been pretty open that I hate my goddamn family. So, I only talked to, like, 2 of them. So, I would always... and I was always the techie person, too. So, even built my own computer back when I was young, and I had a TV and a PlayStation in my room. And so I'd come home, I'd just close the door and like, I'll see you fuckers tomorrow, like briefly as I'm walking out the door. So having a game like that really resonated with me because and I think I use these exact words in the Games We're Thankful For episode is I didn't feel as alone anymore.
Absolutely.
And that's very, very important.
Absolutely. And that's the same.
At that age, absolutely.
Yeah. And that was part of, and I know that this is the same thing that when we were talking about it, it's the same thing I said about Ocarina. It was like, it gave me somebody to aspire to be like. And like Squall, for all his faults, is a good dude. Like, one of the things that I found in the like
most brooding motherfucker ever. But, and I like it how his friends even call him out on that. That's the funniest part when they call him out on just being an angsty bitch.
Well, so that was the thing. It's like everybody was like, oh, like the general discourse around this game seems to be, it's like, oh, like Squall is such a fucking emo, like angsty, and I'm like, did you guys not? Was I the only one who saw Cloud with his fucking spiky hair? And he does the same shit. He does the same like, as his response to everything. And like,
and Cloud is so not self-aware.
Yeah.
Or has no, we get inner dialogue in 8. So
Squall,
like, so we know that Squall,
his inner conflict and shit. And
Squall puts on a front, but is actually pretty vulnerable under it, and you get to see that and get to see a little bit of like what an angsty teenager's actually like he's not that, and
they do justify
stoic.
It because at the orphanage he did have a sister, and him losing a sister, because I think actually she gets it's his de facto sister, but like she gets essentially adopted and he doesn't, so it really hurts like his own like psyche, like I'm not good enough because no one picked me, that sort of thing. So those little backwards things showing him at the orphanage really draw like why he's such an angsty, guarded bitch.
That recurring flashback of him like as a little boy standing out in the rain. I was just like,
he was just waiting for his sister to come back, and she never did.
You're gonna cry.
Clearly, we gravitated towards games that had protagonists, or at least characters that at some level, even if we didn't do it on purpose, we knew were worth modeling something after.
Yeah.
Pretty clearly.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, whether it was stylistically or morally and ethically, or just in terms of like the choices, or like the way that they would handle conflict, like pretty clearly there were some important themes that we picked up.
Well, and it's one of the things why I love Nier Automata so much, and like why I was like, oh, this is the first game in a while that I'm like, it's a narrative driven game that I'm going to drop into my like top games of all time list. Is it's like 2B and 9S are such like lovely, well fleshed out characters where it's like, oh no, I identify with these characters. Like I enjoy like watching their story. Like there's this whole subculture on Reddit of people who make fan art for their favorite video games. And one of my favorites is there's this group of people who keep making fan art of Zelda and Link. And it's like never like fan art of them like, and it's not sexual. Let me clarify that real quick.
That's a different subreddit. But it's like, it's never like them like doing anything badass. It's always just like them in like 90s clothes going to the mall, or like sitting by a lake, or like whatever. And it's just like, and I like those characters. And so I see that art, I'm like, yeah. I've seen a couple where it's like Zelda just like listening, like her eyes closed, like smiling while Link plays the ocarina or something like that, in like a moment of kind of calm reflection. And that's like way more poignant than some of the other stuff that is out there for
that exists on the internet. Yeah. And it's like the characters in FF8, like I just wanted to see more of their story. Like that drove a lot of my interest in the game.
And they feel like real enough characters that they would have those kinds of moments where like they'd be out in front of the mall sitting on the hood of a car.
Yes.
Listening to their favorite Galbadian underground band. You know?
Give me American Graffiti with the FF8 characters. Square, you cowards.
Well,
like there's them tooling around town, like smoking cigarettes, listening to music, throwing beer bottles out of the window and listening to DJ. Like, it sounds amazing.
Well, the game too also has just, besides being super open world, they added a lot of depth to a lot of different areas of the game. Like, there's entire sections. I know friends who have never, like, I'll talk about it, and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, an entire area of the game that is written has a lot of story or items or whatever, and they're just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Towns have pages have screens, like transition screens from section to section that you don't even have to traverse to get through the game, but there's art fleshed out to give like architectural context and show off a little bit of the beauty and the uniqueness of that region.
Yeah.
You may not ever see them if you don't go out of your way.
Yeah. And then there's I played it through multiple times, and there's multiple points in the game where you can kind of split your party up into like two different parties, but you play as each party. But it's interesting because the dialogue, depending on who's in the party, changes every single time based on who of the three, because there's lots of different combinations, because there's usually 6 people total and 3 go this way, 3 go the other. But you got all those conversations that they made specific dialogue for that group of just 3 people. And that 3 people, like maybe change out one of them to a different person. The dialogue will absolutely change. Yeah. It's really like they put so much detail and took so much time to really flesh that out. Like it really felt like a true world, really.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like this game just felt so much more ambitious. Like it felt like a real, like, we're going to do something that's never been done before. And like, and I'm sure that's true of 6 and 7 also. And I'm sure that's true of many of them. Certainly true of 10.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This one hit harder for me. This easily slots in as my favorite Final Fantasy game, which again, I'm willing to say after this is Prettiest Denny's Waitress, but but I did really like this one.
Yeah, the limit breaks in this game compared to a lot of the other games I thought were much more unique. Mm-hmm. And I know we had complaints of mini games. In a way, some of the limit breaks were kind of a mini game, but again, you weren't locked to it. Yeah, Zells was you could set that on auto though. Yeah,
that's true.
And 6 is like that too. Like with the it's got the like the Street Fighter style inputs for one of the guys, and like that doesn't break the game for me. Yeah,
but then again, like 8 you can set it to auto mode and it'll just do it for you, or sometimes it's based on if you just found objects or learned abilities elsewhere in the game, which is, I guess you can call it a mini game, but it's like you don't have to do any of it.
Right.
A little fun trick. So Renoa, her limit break involves her dog.
Right. He's so cute.
He's so very cute. But like, and you can
learn
that you
can
new
get the pet catalogs too.
Yeah. So here's the thing though. I'd almost recommend never getting any of those catalogs or most of them. So her limit break is her and her dog do like some crazy fucking thing.
Yeah.
But, and you can tell the dog to learn each of these tricks over time. It's better if you don't. Like, only teach the dog the limit breaks you actually want to happen.
Okay.
So you get, like, the cannon one by default, and I think there might be one other one. Don't learn any of the other ones except for, like, Invincible Moon, which makes all of your characters temporarily invincible.
Okay.
Because otherwise, all of those go on the same probability table, and the game just spins a wheel.
Oh.
So the less you learn, the higher probability you have of getting the one you want. So if you want to, like, the only real useful ones are, well, again, Cannon is always unlocked by default. You can't just not learn that one. But then there's, like, Revive, where that's not part of the limit break. You'll just show up and revive a character at random, which is, again, not part of the limit break, really. But it's Invincible Moon is, like, the really crazy awesome one you want, because it makes all your characters temporarily invincible, which is fucking dope. Yeah. So if you have just, like, Cannon, Revive, and Invincible Moon, there's like a 50% chance you're going to get that one instead of it being like 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
So it's I've played it enough where I know all the little fun things.
I've got another good friend. This is probably his favorite Final Fantasy game, and I was telling him that we were going to record this, and he was telling me some of his favorite things. So you can modify the character's weapons. You can upgrade them and get them things.
And they change visually too when you do
that.
They
do. And their weapons are not the availability is not necessarily gated by the availability of the magazines that give you the designs, evidently. Evidently, if you have the tenacity to get the materials required to upgrade, you can get like the very latest advanced weapons in the game basically by like disc 2 if you're going to be aggressive enough about farming those up. And so you can really give yourself a big advantage in terms of like weapon development early on as well.
Yeah, because there's like I think I know exactly what he was referring to, because there's a certain shop where just all the weapon unlock patterns will be available to you at that one time without necessarily having to read the magazines to know the materials required.
Yeah. Like the Ultima Blade or whatever it is for Cloud is like available assuming you have the material if you go out of your way to get it.
So Selphie has like probably one of the best limit breaks ever if you can get her ultimate weapon. It's just called The End, where she can like insta-kill even bosses.
That is wild. Yeah. I don't know that I remember that.
Yeah, but getting her ultimate weapon, it's not super hard, but it is kind of a pain in the ass, and considering she's not like the most well-rounded character as far as stats, even if you level her up, it's kind of a hard choice to even bother with it. Quistis, it can be very broken and very helpful. Like if you're just trying to get to level 99, like you want to go the opposite route of keeping a lower level, she's probably one of the easiest ways to do it. Because her limit breaks are kind of based on her
the
I guess eating, that you find from animals,
unlock.
And then you can select whatever one you want. But there's one, if you get an object called a black hole, she learns an ability called Degenerator, which will insta-kill
an enemy.
Most enemies, and you get all the experience. And there's 2 islands, and they do reoccur in other Final Fantasy games too, called
Cactar Islands.
Well, there's Cactar Island, but there's also Heaven, or Island Closest to Heaven and Island Closest to Hell.
Oh yeah,
where all the enemies are like crazy high levels, and you can get there at like level. Well, once you get like the ship, you can land on these islands, and they're super like the enemies will one shot you easily. But if you can keep Quistis at a low enough health where you can trigger her limit break
immediately
use her Degenerator attack, you level up so damn fast. It's insane.
There's actually a similar mechanic in Final Fantasy IX. But I love those little things that like the developers clearly knew we would do these things too. And instead of trying to prevent it, they gave us avenues to satisfy our need to pursue the difficult thing to get ahead in life.
Yep.
And I love that.
Yep. And there's so many other extra things in the game too that you really just don't find in other Final Fantasy games. Like there's a whole UFO encounter piece in Final Fantasy. Yes. See, again, this goes into, I've talked to friends that are like they've missed entire sections of the game, entire towns even. There's like a weird little UFO encounter, and they kind of hint at where the next UFO will show up. And I'll ask you a question about the game, and you can you have to attack either yes or no on the screen, and you want to get it right. But I can't remember what the prize is if you get them all right and get all the encounters. I think it gives you a card, but the card can be card modded into something fucking insane.
Okay. Can we real quick talk about Triple Triad, because we've danced around it a little bit, and I love Triple Triad.
I love Triple Triad. I hate the random rule though.
Yeah.
So one of the first things I do, because I'm such a nerd, I get that rule disappeared from the entire game, because different rules will spread to different regions based on like if I was just in this one area and primarily they play match or whatever, which also is a rule I fucking hate.
Match is tough.
Yeah. But then if I go play in a different town, the rules will spread to that town. So if you do certain things in a certain sequence correctly, you can abolish shit from the game altogether, which, again, super nerdy, but like match and random are the ones I hate the most.
There's a guy, I was reading, that there's a guy you can talk to, I think in Balam Garden, that will like reset all the rules.
Something like that, yeah.
For Triple Triad, and I was like, Oh, okay. But I was just enjoying like learning all the weird rules as I was going. But so it is brilliant in its simplicity. I love it. So you've got you have these cards. They have 4 numbers, one on each side, one on each face.
Each cardinal direction, basically.
Right. And then you've got a square, a grid of 3 by 3, so 9 total spaces.
So think tic-tac-toe.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're trying to lay down cards in such a way that the number on your face of your card is higher than the number on the adjoining face of the enemy's card. And then if you get that, then you flip that card becomes yours in the game. And then if you get a total of 6 cards laid down, then you win.
Or depending on the rules, like if you just have more cards, you win. Or more cards flipped.
Right. And then you get to claim a card from the player that you're playing against's deck. Which then...
And sometimes you can choose any of their cards that are in their hand, or only the ones you managed to flip in the game.
Yeah. And then you can either add them to your deck, or then you can turn it into materials to use to eventually, like, build up your junctions or whatever else, or build up your weapons. And it is addicting. It is really, it's one of those games, and I love card games. I don't know if my love of Balatro has like showed how much I love card games, but I'm a poker fiend. I like card games, and so Triple Triad was one of those things where like I started playing it and I was like, oh, I don't need the rest of FF8. Like I'll just sit, like, let me just log in and play some Triple Triad real quick. Do you know, has Square just put out a Triple Triad game that you can just go get?
Yes, there used to be a mobile game.
Okay.
But like reading through the EULA and stuff, it's like, no. I don't want to just give you access to shit on my phone, sorry.
Fair.
For a fucking card game.
But that seems like it would be a really fun, like, in-person...
I used to... Yeah, you're absolutely... And they did sell, like, actually, if you go to, like, a lot of vintage stock stores like that, some will have actual physical Triple Triad cards. The one near me had a Quistis, oddly enough. I almost got it, but I think they wanted $90 for it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I was like, can you and I, like, start... Like print off a deck and just start playing Triple Triad? 'Cause that sounds fun as hell.
That does sound fun as hell.
All right, let's do that.
I bet we could get on Etsy. Someone's probably already done it.
Oh,
and they're on like nice cardstock and laminated and all that.
Yeah.
I'd fucking play the hell out of that.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
But we'd have to limit ourselves to like what cards we could use, because I think shit would get like too crazy.
Ridiculous pretty quick.
Because anyone who's played it, like, there are certain... Well, corners are always the most strategically sound moves.
Right.
And there's certain characters... Like, if you happen to get their card, I think, like, Sorceress Ada and 2 of the corners, like, so north and east, essentially, or up and then right, are A rating. So pretty much unbeatable.
Yep.
And if you stick her in the bottom left corner, no one's ever going to flip that card.
Right.
So it's...
Well, and I love just, like, so you can go up to anybody and you can hit there's like a challenge button.
Yeah, literally anyone in the game.
Yeah, and some people will just repeat whatever they'd normally say, and some people will be like, oh, you want to play Triple Triad? Let's go. And you then are presented with your whole deck, and you get to like pick the cards that you want to go into the battle with. And I love the strategy of like, okay, I need at least one card that's really strong down. I need at least one card that's really strong up. I need at least one card.
Good corner.
Yeah, a good corner, a good middle, and then you're always looking for a good center card, because if you get a good center card, then you've won it.
Yeah, because that's almost the last place anyone ever puts a card.
Yeah. But if you get a card that is going to be strong on, relatively strong, where they're going to flip at least one card, because when you put a card down in a spot where somebody else has a higher number adjoining it, that doesn't flip your card. You can, like, if it's already laid down, that doesn't affect anything. So
it's only the action of laying down the card. Will it flip another?
Yeah. Right. And so Yeah. Oh, dude, I got really into Triple Triad. I don't know if you can tell.
Did you do the Queen of Cards quest?
No.
See, again, like there's so much to this game that a lot of people just miss. There is an actual character who's just called the Queen of Cards.
Okay.
She's in an early city.
Yeah, she's in one of the early... but she's just standing there. You don't know who it is unless you actively go out of your way and talk to her. She'll announce herself as, hey, I'm the Queen of Cards. I go around and I kick people's asses at Triple Triad, that kind of thing. Like, would you like to play a game?
Yeah.
And then every time you manage to beat her, she'll actually move around to different areas. And she'll also help you, like, spread certain rules you want to different areas. That's kind of one of sometimes the unintended result or intended result. Again, depending on which rules, if you're Kirk and you hate and you want to make disappear forever because they're fucking stupid rules. Yeah, but that is a whole quest line of itself that you can follow. And each time she'll have like usually one really super crazy awesome card that you just have to have.
Yeah.
If you're a collector.
Yeah.
But again, there's just so much to the damn game.
Benny, we're thinking we're gonna try and figure out how to get actual decks of Triple Triad cards and play it like in person. Would you be down for that?
Yeah, and also I'm sure that exists on Etsy somewhere, right?
That's exactly what Kirk was saying. He's like, I'm sure somebody's got it on Etsy.
And I heard that because I was definitely here, and there's a continuity of our presence on the microphone.
And no way we're going to the bathroom.
Yeah, I definitely was in the room for that.
Absolutely. I was there. Your presence was here.
In fact, I'm so dedicated, I would piss on the floor and stay on the mic with you all.
Please don't.
In fact, Kirk is right here peeing on the floor.
Please don't piss on my floor.
I'll bring a squeegee next time.
Squeegee. How about a bottle? If you're gonna intend to piss in my garage, just bring something to piss into, not a squeegee to squeegee it off the fucking floor.
Just right out the door, man. I just zoop.
I would like to say I haven't done that.
There's just a little what's the word I'm looking for?
Piss trail?
Piss tsunami.
Piss tsunami.
Being swept out the door. Into the wide world.
The worst WWE wrestler of all time. Piss tsunami. Oh, that guy definitely has Papa Roach as his walk-in music.
And that sounds like an anime attack that some character declares.
Piss tsunami.
Wow, he's got a crazy voice. Here, say these words.
Effervescent apple fritter riboflavin.
Talking about.
Have you seen that episode of Gravity Falls where they make the like Ryu kind of character come to life?
Oh,
and he does, and Mabel gives him the list of like all the like 3-syllable words to say, like he's saying Hadouken.
That's such a good episode.
Chupacabra. God, it's so good.
So, like,
Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah, there's so much to this game. Like, the plot would fuck. I don't want another. Yeah, we barely, and I don't want another Chrono Trigger fucking.
I was gonna say we're already at 2 hours. Like if we jump back into the plot, it's gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, I can do like a speed round of just important pieces, but like I really don't think we need to extend into multiple super episodes.
We need to, outside of the podcast recording here, I think we just stay away from in-depth plot descriptions.
Yeah. Or we can just leave it alone and just be like, go play the game and then you'll fucking figure it out.
There's an element to that I completely agree with, actually.
Because otherwise explaining the sequence of events and plots of the game, it would just take too long. Looking at the Wikipedia article, it's like, wow, this is like... this isn't even like a good preface of a book. Like,
and we should start pre-writing our synopses.
I do pre-write my plot summaries. That's why mine tend to go a little faster. That's why I did I have the big fucking notes for like Cosmic Star Heroine where I had to write out the plot because there was no plot summary.
Yeah.
Online.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn it.
But this Final Fantasy VIII in its own right, though, is just so big it would take forever.
Yeah.
It would just take, even if I wrote it down beforehand, it would still take forever to read.
Yeah. No, for sure. And yeah, and and there'd be a lot of, like we did with Metal Gear Solid, there'd be a lot of like, excuse me? What the fuck did you just say?
We could go the direction of like even younger, like a 7-year-old kid explaining something they're really excited about. Like, and then there's magic, and then there's guardian forces, and then the sorceress, kills Squall, but she doesn't kill Squall. And then there's actually, another sorceress, but there's even another one, and then you travel to go kill the other one, but the other one's actually your friend.
And maybe all of the sorceresses were Renoa all along.
I don't know if it's confirmed. There is one small, like, kind of plot thing where Sorceress Ultimecia, the big bad of the game, spoiler alert, is actually Renoa from a different dimension.
That's what I was saying. Like, yeah.
And then her girlfriend, her guardian force, is actually Squall, also from a different dimension.
Because it's Leon, isn't it? Or like Lion or something?
Yeah, but
he's Leonhardt.
Yeah, and the pendant that he has on his chest.
Yeah.
It looks a lot like that Guardian Force, and you can even, and its default name is the name of that Guardian Force.
Yeah, Lionheart, right?
Griffin or something.
No.
I don't know.
Something like that. But I mean, it's clearly lion themed.
Lionheart's the sword, isn't it? That's right.
He's Lionheart.
Yeah.
Because he's Squall Lionheart.
Which
is why he's Leon in the Kingdom Hearts games.
Oh, that's right.
Griever. Griever is the name of the girlfriend.
Yeah, okay.
And that's the name of you can, because
Renault
will ask you to give a name to the pendant around your neck, and that's default is Griever, and then you fight Griever oddly enough later on in the game. So there's a theory that Griever is actually Squall from a different dimension, and then Sorceress Ultimecia is Renoa.
I kind of think that makes as much sense as anything else.
Mm-hmm. All right, because right before Ultimecia dies, and you kill her, she starts talking very cryptically.
Yeah. No, Lionheart is his final weapon too. That's what I was thinking.
Oh,
of.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like his big limit break if you have his ultimate weapon.
Sweet.
Yeah. So, but Ultimecia starts talking like very cryptic shit. Like, think about your childhood and your past and this and that. And it's like, why is she saying all this?
Well, and I love one of the recurring things with Final Fantasy is that they're so fucking cryptic and up their own ass that the fan theories are often more interesting than the actual game.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like... And then they go talk to...
Wait, we're not talking about Kingdom Hearts yet.
We're going and talking to Nobuo Uematsu or whoever, and they're like, hey, is this real? He's like, no. You fucking Westerners came up with meaning where there's none. It's like, oh.
I mean, there's there's a basis for that too. Like the pareidolia and like the need to seek patterns and to have everything explained, and the fact that we need symmetry and completeness in our stories, and asymmetry is a theme of Japanese storytelling. There's an element of that makes sense to me. That like we need closure in ways that sometimes Japanese audiences don't.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. And that's fair. There we go.
We're digging through the corpse cooler again.
Closure in Japan usually leads with an atomic bomb, right? Hell yeah!
I can't high five
Nobody's
that.
going to high five that.
I can't, and good. I can giggle a little bit at the dedication.
Well, it was horrible, and I'm like, I might as well say it.
No. Closure in Japan ends with schoolgirls' panties in a vending machine.
That's somehow worse than what I said.
I know. I thought that's what we were doing. Are we not just being the most horrible in the room?
Again, just because you're right doesn't make you correct.
I'd probably gone 6 months since I had to acknowledge that existence. Thanks, Brent. Thanks, man.
Use schoolgirl panty vending machines?
Yeah.
Oh.
I can honestly say I don't go through life thinking about that on a regular basis, so the fact that I had to be reminded of its existence really degraded my day a little bit.
You're welcome.
Thanks, bud.
No. Anything I can do to bring you down to my level. Well, there we go. That's where that went.
Yeah.
Time to hit the old dusty trail.
All right. Kirklestein, this is your game. Do you have closing thoughts you want to throw out there?
I just wanted to touch on the soundtrack. It's very catchy. A lot of people like it.
Yeah.
They did have an actual vocalized song in the game too, which was new for Final Fantasy at the time. I guess it did pretty well in Japan, but even one of our other friends who we talk about, actually we reference him at least almost once per episode, JJ.
Yeah.
One of his favorite Final Fantasy songs of all time comes from Final Fantasy VIII, which is The Man with the Machine Gun.
Okay.
I think it's the one that's like do 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 do.
Is that Laguna's fight
Yep.
song?
Yeah.
That is the best song in this.
Otherwise, this game does have a lot of songs that live kind of rent free in my head that just because they matched its environment so well, and Balab Garden, which is like your school, the very soft tone kind of bell sound is so very school and peaceful. I fucking love it. Another one of my favorite soundtracks is when you're in the Salt Flats. That's a very kind of somber, isolated, kind of sad kind of sound, but it matches the weird environment you're in. That it's just you're in Salt Flats. It's just basically death everywhere. Desert, but worse.
Right.
But the music matches that environment very, very, very well. The only music I didn't really like is when you go to that futuristic city. Was it Esthar? Mm-hmm. The weird beep boopy music just annoyed the shit out of me. I'm like, I get it. We're in an advanced city. You don't need to be all beep boopy about it.
It's all beeps and boops.
Yeah, like it really is.
I wanted to point out. So I took notes as I always do, and most of these we covered. I mentioned that Quistis was clearly an awakening for Kirk. I don't
even like blondes. That's the weird thing.
Yeah. I talked about Zell's horrifying teeth. I talked about there's a bridge sequence early on where you it goes 2D and you're just running left and right. And I was like, this is just Chrono Trigger, which I thought was cool. Fujin and Raijin are fucking relationship goals.
Oh, yeah. I wish I could just talk in one-word sentences. That'd be sick.
Well, and I love that it's just like, yeah, what she's saying is X. And it's like, oh, yeah. They're they're such dipshits, but they're dipshits together, and I love it.
But, only he can really translate, what the hell she's saying. Because she's just, rage. He'll be like, she's really mad about what you did back there, and it didn't make, he'll go into this whole big diatribe.
Right. Yeah, Fujin and Raijin are my favorites. But yeah, then I wrote lots of other stuff, but the thing I wanted to get to, Laguna's a fucking moron, but his battle theme's cool.
Mm-hmm. He really is a lazy, bumbling idiot, really.
I don't get, and everybody's like,
he's kind of a dipshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is stupid.
That's
apparent with all the bullet holes and shit in his bedroom in that one town. It's what the hell? Are you just waking up in a drunken stupor, just firing at the darkness? What's going on here, man?
I took that one as kind of a darker thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it I took that as the implication that Ilone's parents died there, and he was just like, well, we're just going to post up and not patch these bullet holes.
Or maybe he was having night terrors from being in the military or whatever. It's just waking up with PTSD and fucking firing his gun in the house.
It's like the one pop star that all your friends like, and you're like, I just don't get the appeal. Like, every character in FF8 is like, oh, Laguna's the best. I'm like, he's a fucking dipshit.
Yeah,
he's the worst character in this game.
Literally, when they introduce him, he's lost in a forest with his
Yeah.
friends, and he continuously gets them more lost.
Well, and he's the one that, like, is supposed to be leading them, and he constantly fucks up.
And didn't he crash the goddamn truck to begin with,
Yes.
which led to them getting lost because they were
Yes.
already lost, and then he fucking ditched the truck.
And then there's the chick that seduces him that's like, that he's super into, and it's just like, and I'm like, are we supposed to be okay with this? Because it seems like she's like, it's like the scene with Forrest Gump and the fucking, the drug addict girl. Because I'm like, I'm not cool with this. Like,
Oh, God.
you're operating on a different level than this poor man. You need to leave him alone.
Yeah.
Like, he needs to find a nice, simple girl to be with. Like,
You need to find him a pudding and a taxi.
And then he becomes like mayor of that whole big futuristic city, and that's like the only time where he actually seems to have his shit together.
but he's
Otherwise,
just such a
before that, he's so stupid.
fucking moron. But yeah, no, his battle theme is.
I love how he's the only one like who clearly like doesn't know how to fall safely. Like everyone else like survives the fall into the water fine, except he like shatters every bone in his body on the way
Yeah,
down.
he throws his own friends off a really high cliff into water, and he's just like, wow, you guys have guts. I can't believe you just did that. And he's like trying to daintfully crawl down the cliff.
Just
Well, and-
tumbles and destroys
He
himself.
fucking breaks every bone.
Well, and I love because the one guy is like has the mass of a fucking star.
Yeah.
And he's fine, but little Laguna is just like crushes himself. Like he must have just like gone down like this.
There was a kind of another Fujin and Rajan thing with Ward was his name. After he gets his throat damaged.
Oh
Yeah.
And so he communicates to his friends, and he just kind of looks at them.
Yeah.
But they know what he's thinking and what he's saying, even though that's another one of those relationship goals kind of thing.
Well, oh yeah, because Ward's the big guy. Isn't
Yeah,
he?
he's the big guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the
Kiros is the guy with the knives.
Kiris, and I love
with the
because
dreadlocks, long
they were
dreadlocks. So
they
it's,
were trying really hard to not be racist in the translation when Kira shows up in that little town, because Laguna's like talking to the other two, and he's like, yeah, he dresses real weird, but he's nice, and I'm like, that's 100% not what it says in the
Yeah.
Japanese version.
Yeah.
Don't fucking pull my leg. I know
Yeah.
exactly what that said.
Japanese people are often very xenophobic.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. All right, Benny, do you have closing thoughts on Final Fantasy VIII?
I wish I'd played more of this when I was younger, because I
Yeah.
played all the way through 7 and 9, 10, 13. I played all the rest of these more or less around the
Sounds like so
time.
much work.
More or less around the time when they were available.
Yeah.
By that I mean like more or less very loosely, because I didn't own a PlayStation 1. I owned a PlayStation 2, but I ended up playing through 7 and 9 aggressively as soon as I got that platform.
Yeah.
I wish I'd played more of this, but also I worry that I may not have had the wherewithal that Kirk managed to pull together to really appreciate it at the time. But it is impressive, and so I think I had a lot of fun getting into this as an adult and kind of looking back and then hearing how you described this, having played it as a kid.
yeah, but when I was a kid, like, I drank. Like, not like how I do now. Like, I drank. So I think that kind of attributed, like, and, like, amplified some of my emotions. If I tried to drink like I did, like, when I was 16 through 21, like, I'd probably die.
Yeah.
Same.
So I think, like,
There.
because there were times, secretly, I had a big CRT Sanyo TV. It was like
dude, yeah.
I think it was a 32-inch, weighed like 800 pounds. You know how it is.
Yeah.
And I had
I've
my-
got one in the basement. Yeah. No,
Yeah. I'd play on that, but on weekends where I just didn't feel like going out,
Yeah.
or because I worked a lot too.
Yeah.
But there are some times where I didn't feel like going to a party or being social, so I'd get my hands on a 6-pack or a bottle of Jack, or because I didn't drink Jack as much. I drank mostly Captain, but I'd get a bottle of that and literally just spend all night drinking that bottle and then playing Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah.
So again, I think there's probably some
Sounds nice.
substance altering again, like the amplification of certain emotions. Like, I'd be sitting there fucking drunk, just be like, she loves you, Squall, you don't see that? Like, I'm yelling at my bedroom at 2 or at, like 2:30, 3:30 in the morning, so.
And whether that's like linked to your substance abuse or not.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was some.
Me, Matt.
Fuck her for me. No, I swear to God, Matt, if you don't fuck her, I'll kill myself. Fuck her for me, Matt. Fuck her for me.
It's so weird that he's like a mainstream actor now.
It's
so bizarre. Anyway, sorry.
The aggressiveness of how he says that too in front of that entire crowd of people. Yep. God damn it, Matt. I swear to God, if you don't fuck her, I'll kill myself.
I mean,
like, just genuine about it too. Like, he may actually kill himself.
I had her poster on my wall, so I get it.
Classic.
Yeah.
All I was going to say is I think that this one is a... you're the one who said bring it in for landing, so I'm trying to focus.
No, do that. Do it.
I feel like there's some core memories, like core memory unlocked for some elements of this game for you. So I think that it's absolutely a pivot point for gaming, especially from that particular generation. So I think it was inevitable that we were going to cover it.
I just wanted to add that it's like if you're like me, if you're like, man, I've never gotten the Final Fantasy thing, do take if you're interested in this game, which you should be. It's a really good one. Do take a couple minutes to like learn the mechanics before you jump in, because the in-game tutorials aren't great. But this one's worth playing because I really enjoyed it. It feels very different to me than a lot of the other PS1 and Super Nintendo era Final Fantasy games. And I'm converted. I like it. I'll play it again. I'm definitely going to finish it, and I'll probably play it again.
I think in the enhanced version, don't you also get to like change the character, like because in certain points of the game you can change your character will change to like formal gear, or military gear. On the enhanced version, I think you can just toggle those on at all times, right? I could be wrong.
Maybe something about that sounds familiar. Yeah. I can't remember, but I actually was going to mention that if you're willing to pay money for this, I'd get the enhanced edition. I think it's got some comfort-based features that they implemented that just make the experience a little bit more streamlined.
Okay. Yeah. And like if you're not like huge already in the Final Fantasy games, and want that huge grind, they have that, like you were saying, that mode that just it's like experience the story.
Yeah, you can turn off random encounters entirely, or you could just turn on the triple speed and the full power mode and just blast through, and you still have the fun of the fights. And you can use any of those interchangeably. You can turn off random encounters. You can turn on the super power mode and triple speed and just blast through this game if you really wanted to. Yeah. It's literally a button click. It's like the left and right sticks independently or together toggle those three modes, and so you can do it at a glance. So like the way I've been doing it, I turn them on as I need, and then turn them off for cinematic or like dialogue moments, so that I don't get like jittery, weird character movements moving 3 times the speed, and then just go through battles quickly. So if you're willing to spend money, that's the one to go with, because it does run well on Windows 11.
Yeah.
From Steam, it'll probably run just fine on your Steam Deck if you have one. So that's my last thought.
Just don't play the 8 and 7 pack on Switch. Frankly, it's a worse experience than playing it on a PlayStation. Which is impressive.
And don't ever emulate it unless you own the original, or Nintendo will put you in Nintendo jail.
Absolutely. I emulated it, but only because I have my legally acquired complete copy of FF8, despite not owning a PlayStation, that I just put on my shelf to look at. Anyway, we must leave now. We must go. My people need me.
But I like the puzzles the game would introduce in certain areas, like almost Resident Evil 2-ish kind of style puzzles.
Those
like when
are good.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which you
that's
just don't see in a lot of Final Fantasy games, like ever.
That's true.
Yeah, it's like, well, you gotta put this thing here and open this thing here and get over there.
Put a martini glass in a statue's hands.
Yeah, that was cute. That was just cute.
Once you get to Ultimisia's castle, it's one big puzzle. I love it. Like, only certain doors will open for certain things.
Yeah.
Sorry, didn't want to derail you. I know you're trying to land it, but I'm like, but I forgot the thing. I could talk
No.
about this fucking game forever.
No, I
But I don't want to turn this to another Cronenberg trigger.
Cronenberg trigger. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna leave now. We're gonna go.
Kill me.
Jesus Christ. But it was a good game, and I enjoyed it. And you should play it with your hands and eyes or mouth. I don't care how you play it.
And your heart.
Play it with
Aw.
I know. I threw that in there. You like that?
play
shit,
it with
bitch?
your inner thighs if that's what you're into. I'm not here to tell you. what to do.
Flooded basement emoji.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you like what we're doing, check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, Libsyn, I don't know, other shit. I don't give a fuck. I'm like 8 beers deep. I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. I'm so very tired, guys. But do come talk at us on Discord. I've noticed there's been a couple new people filtering in. That's been nice. Hello to those new people. Hi. How are you?
Greetings from across the internet.
I am well.
And I'll do TMIG again eventually, just not right now.
I like how Brent is borderline into a Dear John letter.
Yeah.
Just like, it's been many a fortnight since we spoke.
I keep.
Are you well?
I am good too.
The foot was amputated after I cut the nail back too far. Like, Jesus.
My dearest Jonathan, the flames of war have overtaken us. There's been many a night I've spent in this cold bed thinking of you fighting Jerry.
Sharing warmth with the goats.
I feel the crop won't be a good yield this year.
Okay,
You
this
may
is-
be interested to know that Sarah was taken by the dysentery. But we never liked her anyway.
Or possibly the cannibals. We'll never know for sure.
Jimmy has the rickets again. We tried administering leeches, but it only made it worse. Bye!
Well, I guess we do see
Let me open the rule book.
Okay, child soldiers.
bits and pieces of Laguna in that time frame.
Tots with AKs. I don't know.
Tots with AKs!
Sorry, Kirk.
It's all good. No, I was just waiting for like once he said tots with AKs, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna shut up now because I want to see where this is going. No, I
think we know where it goes. Tiny graves. I don't know.
I don't. Benny, maybe you can